shots and the treasure. If you would rather go your way than go your way, I'll sail this ship alone.
The beautiful South, heading out on the stormy seas of life. Thank you for the pleasure of your company over the past 1.5 hours. You can have another dose tomorrow morning just after 9 o'clock. Time to hand over now to Gerry Anderson. He's got his new suit on, which means one of two things. Either they've cut his benefit, he's here to appeal, or else he's flogging timeshares in Royal Avenue. Bye-bye from me.
Did you tell the girl you didn't want to talk to me?
No.
You did?
No, I didn't.
You told the girl come in me and he said he doesn't want to talk to you because he told me. You don't like talking to me, even though I'm down here in your own city. You don't want to talk to me. What is it? What's wrong with me?
I distrust a man who wears a suit.
It's because you don't have one?
I used to have one.
What happened to it?
It's what fell apart.
Did you give it to Oxfam, St. Vincent de Paul, some charitable organisation like that?
No, I sold it.
You're just jealous of me. Because I come in here and everybody turns their head when they see me.
Well, yeah, the other
direction.
Yeah.
Pardon?
They turn their head the other way.
Sorry,
I am actually quite jealous of you.
I get in before you there. See, when I get in the insult before you do, it means that I'm quicker today.
Are you?
But you're all right. You're sitting and sleeping in there. You should waken up in the morning, for God's sake. I rarely see you. But you should sit up straight, just sitting slumped over there like, I don't know what you're like. I'm sitting here. No, what I'm going to do in future...
But I wasn't doing what you accused me of doing anyway.
Let's not get into that.
I find your behaviour completely unacceptable.
It is completely unacceptable.
Do you know, that is one word I'm going to ban, unacceptable.
Completely unacceptable.
Yeah. You know, what happens if you want to condemn something utterly and completely and describe an action as horrible and heinous and diabolic and shocking and depraved, what you say is, this is totally unacceptable.
I want to state unequivocally.
Yeah, you could drop an atomic bomb on Donegal and somebody would come up and say, unacceptable behaviour.
I don't know, it's not a bad idea. Listen, I want to say something to you, and I want your advice before I do this.
Go on.
I'm going to do it standing up.
Well, they can't touch you for it.
Hugo's still sitting, but I would have thought, Hugo, do you know when he goes to Nashville and places like that and looks at all the country singers and sees how much money they have, and then he comes back with these ideas. All the DJs in Nashville and all the country, they all broadcast standing up. Do you know the way we sit here and talk into our microphones in true BBC fashion, the way we've been taught to by people like... Who taught you?
Walter.
Walter didn't. Michael Bagley taught me.
Did he?
Michael Bagley's great shiny shoes. He must spend a fortune on shoe polish.
I haven't seen Michael for a long time.
No. Anyway, I'm going to do it standing up from now on. And I'll you know what I'm going to do? It'll make you all look bad. You'll all be sitting there and the person who pays us, you know the person who pays us, will come around and look at young Anderson standing up.
You get paid. You know what'll happen, of course, you'll not be able to see over the desk.
I will be able to see over the desk. The person that pays us will come over and say, look at Bennett and look at Hugo and look at George all sitting down like old men. Young Anderson standing up there, doing it, standing up.
Have a care, young man. They'll take the seats away. Cuts, you know.
There's a thought. Okay, watch me doing it standing up.
Go on then.
Here we go. You see, that worked.
Yeah, you'll not be able to get the fader closed again, though.
I can close any fader that they throw at me.
Where you go then?
Right.
Bye.
Thank you to John Bell in Belfast who's still listening. Put down my tongue at him. Thank you, Susan McReynolds up on BBC Radio 4.
Another car running fast, another song on the beat. I take a trip through the past when summer's way out of reach. Another walk in the park when I need something to do. And when I feel all alone, sometimes I think about you. Take my hand, smile and say you don't understand. To look in your eyes and see what you feel, and then realize another bucket of sand, another wave at the pier. I miss the way that I used to call the shots around. You know it would have been nice if I had something to do. I took a trip through the past and got to spend it with you. Take my hand, smile and say you don't understand. To look in your eyes
That's Brian Wilson, of course, is generally off his head, who pulled himself together just enough to make that record. That's called Your Imagination. It's from an album called Imagination. Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys. Right, good morning. If you want to, I'm in Belfast today, but that makes no difference at all to people who are ringing. The number is the same. The number you ring if you want to contact this programme is 08459 555 678. John Bennett's on the first hole already. 08459 555 678. If you want to send me an email, the machine is beside me and it's handier. It's jerry.anderson@bbc.co.uk. I've got a number of things to read out here and I don't know where to start. I'll start with Bernadette Lancaster from London, Ontario in Canada. She said, it's on email of course, I'm writing to you from London, Ontario in Canada, which I said before. I would like to request a song for my sister, Rose McAleenan, in Bacadary, Castlewellan, for her birthday on the 21st of August. That's tomorrow, so I better do it today. The song I would like is Where the Mountains of Mourne Sweep Down to the Sea. Well, as you well know, Bernadette Lancaster from London, Ontario, Canada. Percy French is extra. I'll do that tomorrow. I'll put that on the pending tray, or should I say in the pending tray. You don't put things on the pending tray. Well, of course you do, but nobody knows what you're talking about. Angela Ball is referring to saga we had yesterday. We had 2 little kittens yesterday, and many people contacted me about that during the course of yesterday. And they said that, see, there are 2 types of people in this world. There are people that I don't like, and there's people that I do like. And many of the people I didn't like contacted me yesterday and said I was wasting my time trying to find a home for 2 blind kittens. And I said to myself, where has the compassion gone in this country? I said to myself, where has the heart gone from the people of the province? And here's a person who thinks right, Angela Gallen. She said, if I was living in Ireland, she's not living here, she doesn't tell me where she is, because it's on email. She could be anywhere in the world. She could be in Ngorongoro Crater, anywhere at all, or Lake Titicaca, or indeed Canada, or America, or Sweden, or Norway, said he, trying to think of all the other countries of the world and thinking of none of the rest of them. If I was living in Ireland, then I'd give these poor wee kittens a home. I feel so sorry for them, and I wish I could help. I recently lost my cat, and to think I could help 2 others would be so lovely. I'm now living in Norwich. There we are. Not Lake Titicaca at all, or Ngorongoro Crater. I hope you find a good Irish heart to take care of them. You need to be careful what you say here. Sometimes we have to say a good Ulster heart, because there are people out there who... there's a thing I saw in the wires today. I'm going to read it to you now in a minute. But and here's a man who's complaining. Well, thank you very much for that. What's your name again? Angela in Norwich. Thank you. We're trying to keep this show on an even keel here, because we find that the hearts of the people out there are like stone. And especially some of the people who work in this programme. None of them are here today, so I can say what I think. Mr. Coyle and the girl that comes in, they have hearts of stone. I don't know what's wrong with them. I'm the only one there who's got a beating heart. Anyway, here's a complaint from a man called A.B. McKernan. And he says, please stop doing that Carol Smiley impression. It's really... I can't say that word. It starts with an F. It's really effing annoying and makes me wish that Sean was presenting the show instead. Yes, it is that bad. Please play Arthur McBride, the original Not That Crappy remix, or Mary and the Soldier by Paul Brady, or Lucy Kaplansky, or Shipbuilding by Robert Wyatt, or The Logical Song by Supertramp. Thanks, Gerry. Good luck. I'm smiling now. I'm not going to do Carol Smiley anymore because it's not... it's not very good. I'll give me more money and I'll stay on longer. John Lewis says, just to let you know, that jigglers can also mean... I know what a jiggler is. I know what a jiggler is. A jiggler is the thing that you use to get red diesel out of a can and a lorry and a low loader. Just to let you know that jigglers can also mean a device to open locks. Yes, I've jiggled before. Legally or illegally, as well as meaning the other purpose your caller mentioned in the morning show, not to mention another purpose that was mentioned off the air in this programme, but I don't go down that road. John Collins says... I don't know what that's about. Oh, I know what that's about. A man telling me a little bit about himself. Why is he telling me about himself when I don't care? Oh, he sent me those things yesterday about... it was a comparison between dogs and your wives. That's it. He said, my name is Michael Collins. My brother... My name is John Collins. My brother is Michael Collins. His wife Lou both live in Oma from time to time. He includes you on the copy list of emails he sent you. So he lives in London. Does everybody live in London, Ontario? My brother lives in London, Ontario, in Canada. That's 2 people we have already on today living there. I left Oma 20 years ago. That was about the right time, I think. And I get home for the most part once a year. I hope you enjoyed the joke. I heard you read it on the air. Unfortunately, I was unable to log onto Radio Foil this morning. Computer problems. And his brother contacts me in a separate email and tells me that this man would be a good correspondent. He could be my Canadian correspondent. And he describes to his brother in Canada that I have all kinds of correspondence. I have an insect correspondent. I have a soccer correspondent. I have an upper torso correspondent. There is a vacancy for a lower torso correspondent. We have a shin correspondent. We have a left side of the brain correspondent, sinister correspondent, and indeed the outer space correspondent. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I have to say hello to Joe in East Belfast, who would like me to sing a few bars of Love Me Tender. Love me tender. Sorry, that's Elvis's dad. And hello to Jimmy and Phyllis Johnson in Belfast, who were 50 years married last Friday. Congratulations to them. That's from Friday. I'm trying to read all these, because if I don't read these now, I never will. Hello to Mary King, who celebrated her birthday the day before yesterday. That's from her husband, Peter. And a Dungannon caller is looking for a copy of a documentary about the Magnificent Seven, which was on TV on the 20th of July. And another person wants to know, have a band called Lost Dogs released a CD? Yes, they have indeed. And I don't know what the name of it is, but I have that information up in Londonderry. When I go back up there, I'll find it and check it out. Also, lost a greyhound in Armagh last Thursday, but it'll be hard to catch. A reward is offered. Please play Allende by Christy Moore. And people are saying he doesn't know how to say that, but he does. He's doing that just to catch the people. Allende, who was the dictator of Chile, as far as I believe, supported by the Americans. And then, well, anyway, that's neither here nor there. Christy Moore doesn't like him. Allende by, or maybe that was Baptisti. No, he had a Italian cafe in Derry. No, that's wrong. Allende by Christy Moore for Paddy. And I've got a poem here by a man called John McMenamin, who, for some reason, unbeknownst to himself, writes me a poem about Einstein. It's called It's All Relative. I'll just read this because I'm trying to get through all this stuff here. Not that I say that John McMenamin is any less of a poet. I'm just saying I'm just trying to get through all this stuff here. Earl Einstein was a very smart man, in fact, beyond compare. But there was one thing Einstein couldn't do, and that was comb his hair. His hair was like a chimney brush, and he wore a crumpled suit. He could split the old odd atom, but he never looked too cute. He'd E-square this and E-square that, but no one seemed to care. And his mum said, Albert, buy some gel, and for God's sake, comb your hair. He'd a moustache just like a walrus, lying sleeping on the sand. But when it came to relativity, Einstein was your man. He looked just like a hobo, an awful sight to see, but you could knock up an old atom bomb before he had his tea. Old Einstein could do wild big sums. Mathematics was his thing, but at parties he was hopeless because he couldn't dance nor sing. Jitters, boys. He couldn't tell a story or sing the odd old verse, and people who roll their eyes when he explained the universe. See, that's the thing you should never do at parties. Explain why we're here. You know, I don't mean at the party, but, you know, on Earth. We're like scum on the surface of a pond. They don't like that talk. They just want to know what happened to sausage rolls with the curry in them. When people saw him coming, they scattered in confusion, because Earl Einstein bored them rigid with his talk of nuclear fusion. But you guessed that one, didn't you? Earl Einstein, he spent all his time involved in atom smashing, but Earl Einstein, he knew sweet FA when it came to style or fashion. He only had the one old suit. He looked just like a clown, a refugee from the Marx Brothers, as he shambled round the town. He knew all about the universe and the motion of the stars, but he was blind without his glasses, as thick as 2 jam jars. Yes, Earl Einstein was a genius, and still, you know, I think you wouldn't ask Earl Einstein out if you're going for a drink. He'd just sit there in the corner with his hair like Ken Dodd, and he would sing Fine Girl You Are, because he was a dull old sod. That makes no sense whatsoever. You see, when you get to the end of poems, you see sometimes men are desperate and they put in a verse they would normally leave out. Earl Einstein helped to build a bomb that was let off in Japan, and the President of America said to him, Jesus, you're a wild smart man. And Einstein left a legacy. Hi was at the funeral bell, and one day, thanks to Earl Einstein, we'll all be blown to hell. Yes, Earl Einstein was a wild smart man, but the girls all find him spooky. He would never have got the Nobel Prize, but he never got his... Earl Einstein died a lonely man. On his deathbed, he said, dang, if I'd had beauty instead of brains, I might... No, I can't read that bit. It gets smutty at the end. A sign of desperation in any poet. Here's a band called The Plea. This is going to be a big hit. This is good.
You throw yourself in the ground. It's time to get used to the dirt. And I belong where I to the set, with everything to look upon. And you know the beauty helps you stand, but you've been standing for so long. And ooh, I'll be lying next to you. And ooh, they'd run away from you. You feel as easy as you will. You feel as easy as you will. You feel as easy as you will in the coronary hills. So let this wind carry me miles and miles and miles and miles away. For them it's the hardest thing to leave, but for me it's harder just to stay. And ooh, I'll be lying next to you. And ooh, we'd run away from you. And ooh, I'll be lying next to you. And ooh, we'd run away from you. You try to see if you're standing still. You try to see if you're standing still in the coronary hills. In the coronary hills. In the coronary hills. And ooh, we'd run away from you. And ooh, I'll be lying next to you. And ooh, we'd run away from you.
That's the plea. They used to be called Jacob's Plea, but they're now called simply The Plea, singular. That's a song called Coronary Hills, which is going to be a huge hit, and I love that very much indeed, said he, with sincerity. Hello, Kathleen McGarvey. Ach, you're not there, for God's sake. Hello, Kathleen. What is going on here? Hello, Kathleen. Hello. Oh, dear, dear, dear.
Hello, Gerry.
There you are.
Gerry, wait till I switch off this other radio.
I'm glad you're there because I thought I was doing something wrong, because every time I'm in Belfast the machine is different and the controls are different and I always do all the wrong things, and it's very embarrassing sometimes when you can't get people on the phone. You have to press different buttons and they're not the
Hello,
same.
Gerry.
Yes, they're not the
Gerry,
same.
I wanted to get in touch with you today, first of all, to say sorry about Monday. Do you remember Monday that you got through to me?
You were very short with me.
Yes, I had to, because I had a cab ordered and it just arrived.
I know. Well,
And I had to run.
well,
And
that's an
why.
achievement in itself.
Well,
Getting a taxi to come when you expect it to.
yes. Well, my taxi firm is very good and they always arrive bang on time.
Well, who are they? Everybody else might want to know who they are.
No, maybe I don't know whether I should tell you or not.
Why not? The black taxis of it, is it?
No, it's not a black taxi.
Well, what is it
It's
then?
a diamond taxi.
Well, there you are. If men do good work, they should be told.
Well, they do good work.
And they're always there in time.
Well, we have all our cab firms in Ballymena are all good.
Well, I'll tell you what, they're not good anywhere else.
Well, they are all good here.
The number of times I ring a taxi and I say, I'll be down in 10 minutes. And then half an hour later, you ring up and you say, any chance of that taxi coming? Oh, I'll be there in 10 minutes.
But you see, the point about a taxi is they're all working. They have other customers besides me, now say.
I know
And
that.
if I want a cab at a certain time, I have to give them a wee bit of notice because they have to slot you in.
But sure, I know that. I've been slotted in many's a time and then they never came at all.
Well, then there's other ones that come at night, you see, and they have to take over and take over and take over at the door because somebody has called them and maybe doesn't bother coming out. So there's a whole lot of ways you look at this.
The only way I look at it is this. When you ring a taxi and you say, listen, I need this taxi because I have to get a plane. And the fella doesn't come and you ring up and say, listen, where's that taxi? He says, I'll be down in 10 minutes. And you say, well, I've got a plane to catch. He says, I'll be down in 10 minutes, and then it doesn't come. And then you have to drive out yourself and cost you a fortune to leave your old car at the airport.
Well,
I hate that carry on.
But that's because you come from the wrong part of the province.
I do indeed come. I wish I came from the right part.
Yes, well, wait till I tell you.
Yes.
I have got my banjo sitting here.
Oh, great.
But I've got this impersonation, and it doesn't need the banjo.
Well...
And I wanted to do it for you, to see if you could guess who it was.
You're going to do an impersonation for me that doesn't need the banjo. And I'm going to have to guess who it is.
Yes.
Is it male or female?
Well, male.
You've never done male impersonations before for me. This is
No,
going to
never for you, no.
Have you done them for other people? All right then. Okay, I can see you're excited. Okay,
I'm very excited.
Do you need a bit of time to?
No, I'm just ready.
Go ahead then.
Oh, we were the porten brandy, the vodka and the stag, the smiddick and the harpic, bottle drop and keg. It's a secret come, but they can never figure out how your man stays up in the surf for 14 pints of stout.
That's not bad.
Isn't that good?
Ruby Murray.
Ach, don't be cheeky.
No, I know who that is.
Yeah.
That's Christy Moore.
Yes.
That's not bad, you
and
know.
I think he's great.
He's very hard to do. What's that song called again? That's the...
Delirium Tremors.
Delirium Tremors.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to play that for you. Do you know what I'm going to do for you?
Uh-huh.
I'm going to play you a wee piece of music now. As soon as... but not just right away.
Uh-huh.
It's about Christy Moore talking about that.
Uh-huh.
And he's talking about that song.
He's a lovely man.
He is, actually, because last year we did a programme with him down in Dublin.
Uh-huh.
And he came in, I don't know if you heard that or not, he came into the studio and he sat and he sang all morning.
Yeah.
And he was the nicest man I've ever met. And I was very impressed by him.
Yes.
Because, do you know when you're in the company of pure genius?
Yes.
You can always
That's
tell.
the way you feel when you're talking to me.
No, I don't feel that way when I'm talking to you. But, you know, I feel that you don't feel like...
Well, I'm a pure genius.
You see, when you're talking to George Jones, you feel differently. When you're talking to Hugo, you feel differently. When you talk to, people who aren't bluffers. When you're talking to Christy Moore, you realise that you're in the presence of real talent. And it's so rare that it's quite surprising.
Well, I have my banjo here. Do you want me to sing a song? No. Another time.
No, I want you to sing a song now on your banjo. I do. I was just leaning down to pick something up there. I want you... What do you...
Because he who hesitates is lost.
Well, can you do it within 3 minutes?
Yes.
Okay, and then we'll play Christy Moore at the end of that.
Right.
Okay. Off you go. There's the banjo being brought up. The phone being placed in position. I hear not a twang. No notes are being plugged. Have we been cut off?
What will it be?
For God's sake, woman! That sounds like a banjo to me.
How can you keep it from the tension when your muscles are geared to the floor? When your bones start to creak and you're frightened to speak in case you have said it before? How can you keep it on the pension when each trip to the shop is a dread? When the butchers have changed 3 or 4 times and the grocers you knew are all dead, and you can't get a chance to go walking. The dog wants to sleep in his chair. His looks is wise up, sure I'm only a pup, and it rains cats and kittens out there. And you worry about your cholesterol and you're chock full of vitamin E. Drinking milk with no cream, oh, I'm ready to scream. What a horrible vision for me. Still I'll try to keep it on the pension. Do I hear a look coming on? Is my audience bored? Sure surely that is absurd. Still I think it's near time I was gone.
You haven't lost it.
Hello?
You haven't lost it.
No, I haven't lost it.
It's still there.
Only I couldn't think of what song to sing.
Yeah, there was a slight pause there, but that's okay. I filled in for you.
Did you?
That's very good. Thank you, Kathleen.
Okay.
And keep you doing your Christy Moore impersonations, because here,
Yes.
here he is now.
Do you think he's good?
I love him. I think he's brilliant.
Uh-huh.
This is him now. Look.
Well, wait now till I put on my radio.
Okay, hurry up.
Okay.
You ready?
Thank you.
Bye.
After drinking a quart, I went out to the yard, where I met up with Brophy, the big civic guard. Come here to me, boy, don't you know I'm the law? Well, I stood on a chair and I kissed his old jaw. Oh, he fell to the floor and he couldn't get up. But it wasn't I kissed him, 'twas the Johnny jump up. And the next thing I met down in Youghal by the sea was a poor man on crutches, and says he to me, I'm afraid of me life, I'll get hit by a car. Won't you help me across to the railwayman's bar? After drinking a pint of that cider so sweet, he threw down his crutches and danced on his feet. Oh, well, never, oh, never, oh, never again. If I live to 100 or 110. I fell to the floor and I couldn't get up, after drinking a pint of old Johnny Jump Up. A man died in the Union by the name of McNabb. Well, they washed him and they shaved him and they laid him right out on the slab. And after the undertaker his measurements did take, his wife took him home to a very fine wake. It was about 12 o'clock and the beer it was high. Oh, the corpse he sat up and says he with a sigh, I can't get to heaven, for they won't let me up till I bring him a quart of the old Johnny Jump Up. Oh, well, never, oh, never, oh, never again. If I live to 100 or 110. I fell to the floor and I couldn't get up, after drinking a pint of old Johnny Jump Up. Jump up, lie down, jump up. Okay?
That's Christy Moore. That's a song called Johnny Jump Up. Right, we're coming up to the news at 11 o'clock. Just a couple of wee messages before we go, but we'll be back at 4 minutes past 11 o'clock. I want to say hello to Brendan McVeigh of Congress Street in Portland, Maine, USA, who sent us an email. Thank you very much for the nice message. And please, would you do me a favour and announce details of an art exhibition to be held by East Antrim artists this weekend in Island Magee. The exhibition will be open on Saturday the 24th and Saturday the 25th of August from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. at the Cove Workshop, 61 Gobbins Road, Island Magee in County Antrim. The Gobbins Road, it says, apparently, is just beyond the Rinka. The Rinka. I don't know where the Rinka is either. So if you ask me where the Gobbins Road is or the Rinka, I know neither. But let me say it's somewhere near Island Magee. Right, we'll be back approximately 4 minutes past 11 o'clock. Don't forget the number to ring if you want to contact us is 08459 555 678. It's exactly 11 o'clock.
92 to 95 FM
and 1341 medium wave.
BBC Radio Ulster.
It's 11 o'clock, and with the news, this is Erin Alexander. A former teaching assistant from Soham in Cambridgeshire has appeared in court in connection with the murders of Holly Wells and Jessica Chapman. A 25-year-old Maxine Carr arrived under police escort at Peterborough Magistrates Court earlier this morning. A crowd of about 100 people shouted and jeered. Miss Carr was remanded in custody, charged with trying to pervert the course of justice. She's due back in court a week tomorrow. Her partner Ian Huntley, a 28-year-old caretaker, is charged with the murder of Holly and Jessica, but has been declared not fit to attend court today. He's being detained at a secure hospital under the Mental Health Act. The head of forensic psychiatry at St George's Hospital Medical School in London, Professor Nigel Eastman, says there are safeguards in place to ensure that any person sectioned under the Mental Health Act cannot fake illness.
Whether somebody can fake an illness or a disorder depends to some extent upon the nature of the disorder. There are some types of disorder where it would be extremely difficult to fake it because you can show on brain scans that there's something wrong, for example. Other conditions where there isn't any brain scanning or organic evidence, it's more possible. But when somebody's in hospital for a prolonged period of time under constant observation, it's very difficult, in my experience, to keep up a faking exercise.
Police say 6 officers were injured during last night's trouble in East Belfast. Army experts dealt with a pipe bomb in Bryson Street and the remains of a second device were found nearby. A hand grenade was made safe at Clondyboy Drive. A couple and their 2 children escaped injury when a petrol bomb hit their car as they drove down the Lower Shankill Road in Belfast last night. The husband and wife, their 4-year-old daughter and 3-month-old baby son suffered shock when the device ignited after smashing against the windscreen of the car. There were minor disturbances in the area at the time. The Belfast to Heysham Seacat service has returned to Belfast after a fire on board forced it to turn back. The fire broke out in the engine room soon after the ferry left Belfast this morning. The company says it's investigating the cause and is making alternative arrangements for more than 240 passengers who were on board. 2 milkmen have helped rescue a man from a fire in County Down. Roy Moorhead and his assistant were on their usual rounds at 4:30 this morning when it happened. Roy says the man was very lucky they were there.
We could hear the smoke alarm and could see smoke coming out of the windows. And then we started banging on the windows because I knew there was a man living there. I didn't know why he was in the house or not at the time. And then we heard coughing. He woke up then. He was sleeping through the smoke alarm.
A man's body has been found in Coleraine. It was discovered this morning in an entry off Ballygallen Park in the Ballysally estate in the town. Forensic experts are at the scene, which has been sealed off. The police are treating a fire in Larne early this morning as arson. A 37-year-old woman suffered smoke inhalation and shock after the fire in a flat at Gardenmore House. A 22-year-old woman has been arrested and is being questioned about the incident.
BBC Radio Ulster.
Travel news. As mentioned on the news, Seacat has experienced problems on its Rapide service this morning. The ferry has now returned to Belfast, and for further information, contact the company on 08705 523 523. Meanwhile, in Ballycastle, due to a Coast Guard search and rescue exercise taking place this evening, the Rathlin ferry will now depart at 8 p.m. instead of 6:30 p.m. Finally, on the railways, Translink says that the line between Moira and Lisburn is now open and services are back to normal. Anne Jordan with the travel news.
And the weather dry and rather warm with spells of sunshine. BBC Radio Ulster News.
Thank you, welcome back. It's just after 4 minutes past 11 o'clock. This is Gerry Anderson here in Belfast today. We'll be here until 12 o'clock until the crazies come. The number is 08459 555 678, or you can send me an email at gerry.anderson@bbc.co.uk. I must remind you that our last outside broadcast of what is laughingly called the summer will take place on Monday. We'll be down in Ballycastle at somewhere around the Co-op, which is probably the most difficult place to get to in Ballycastle, which is why we're there. That's on Monday. We'll be there at 10:30 on Monday morning. So if you want to come down and have a bit of a laugh, we'll have Henry McCullough will be there and going to be playing a bit, and who knows who else. Geordie will be there. I don't know whether to tell you that or not. So if you want to see what the man looks like, and I suggest that you don't bother, come on down on Monday morning in Ballycastle. We'll be starting there at 10:30. God knows what kind of shape I'll be in. I'll try and be compos mentis. These are the walls, or should I say this is the walls.
Slip in, slip away in space, drifting, a smile upon his face. There's no turning back, what's done is done. He's heading for the bright and shining sun. People on the other side, the people who passed through your life, their faces seem to fade away so Carahillo. She covers me in warm and gentle rays, holds me through the night and lights the day. In this place I could escape and change my ways, so I run and I run to the bright and shining sun. Yeah, I run and I run to the bright and shining sun. I could escape and change my ways, so I run and I run to the bright and shining sun. Yeah, I run and I run to the bright and shining sun. I won't let the days melt into a haze. I wanna be my heart, I wanna be amazed, so I run and I run to the bright and shining sun.
Whoops, nearly missed the end of that. That's Bright Shining Star by a band called The Walls. That's a single out now at the moment. Is that from an album? Let me just check. I don't know. Oh yes, it's from an album called Hilo, H-I-L-O, on Earshot Records. That's a band from Dublin. As I keep saying, I shouldn't be saying this all the time, but you know, some great music coming out of Dublin and nothing coming out of Belfast. Which is an awful shame, but I blame the Troubles myself. Hello, hold on, there's somebody on the phone here. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Gerry.
Yes, who's that?
Gerry, this is Jane here.
Jane, yes.
Gerry, I'm your, what would you call it, your correspondent who reads the paper, the newspaper.
You're my newspaper correspondent.
Yes. Now,
yeah,
you had an article on, you have a very good article on a Friday evening.
Oh, thank you.
On the Belfast Telegraph.
Yes.
Now, I can't get the actual copy of the paper at the moment, but I think it was a couple of weeks ago you did an article, and then somewhere else, whether it was actually in that article or somewhere else, I read, and it said you were writing an article about some lady who was on Radio 4.
Yes.
No,
yes, that was oh dear, Annie McCartney.
Right.
She's got a series on Radio 4.
This is where the fun really starts.
Yeah.
Gerry, do you know what you said?
What?
You said, why don't you tune in and listen to her? And do you know what time she's on, according to you?
Oh, I know, yes.
10:30 in the morning.
I know.
On Radio 4. And I said, Gerry has lost it.
No, you see, no, I haven't lost it at all, because let me explain something to you. This is part of the new BBC thinking. See, there was a time not so long ago when we called it the selfish BBC, whereas you would stick off your own programme at the expense of all others. But now we are indulging in what's called blue sky thinking. Do you know what blue sky thinking is?
I've never heard of it.
Let me explain the concept of blue sky thinking. You sit down, and when you indulge in blue sky thinking, anything that comes into your head is possible. It's the new all-inclusive BBC.
That's not good. You see, I thought that everybody had to tune in to hear Gerry Anderson.
No, they don't have to. This is all part of the new blue sky thinking.
And there, all of a sudden, you were advocating listening to Radio 4.
All the new all-inclusive...
Once people go over to Radio 4, Gerry, they'll never come back to you.
No, yes, they will.
No, they won't.
Because I came back to you, and I went over to Radio 4.
We know why.
No, but one of the things that you have to...
Gerry, I thought that was hilarious. I thought it was a joke, actually.
No, it's not a joke. It's not a joke, because this is all... The BBC has now become like the Three Musketeers. One for all and all for one. No more of this standing up for your own programme and saying everything else is crap.
No, I didn't mean that, but I thought it was funny. We know it.
If a programme is on and clashes with one's own programme, let me finish. It's important to have a mission statement here. If a programme is on that is very good but clashes with one's own programme, one must admit that the other programme is good, and one must say to the listeners, you have a choice here. Blue sky thinking.
But wait.
Let not them think that they must listen to your programme because you're on it.
Could it have been because you were on holiday that week?
That was probably the main reason.
I said he's his own back at poor old...
You've cracked it.
John Doyle.
It took you a while before you realised how that thing worked.
I sort of thought, what sort of a...
I'm no fool. Blue sky thinking means trying to get people some stopping.
Do you not think that this should be brought to the attention of your listeners?
I think it should be brought to the attention of the
Yes,
listeners.
and I think should be getting a T-shirt or something for bringing this to your...
No, don't be coming at me with these awkward requests.
You have all these different folk who come on and they say this, that and the other, your correspondence. And I'm just watching the paper to see, the
Nobody
article.
gets nothing in this show. You should know that.
I know it, but you never know. Could be doing with the T-shirt. Look, I could be wearing it out in the garden.
What garden? What weather?
And look at that
What
beautiful
T-shirt?
day.
It's nice today, and I'm stuck in
Beautiful,
here.
Gerry.
I know.
Gerry, I thought that was hilarious.
Okay, but now you've cracked it. You realise why I'm doing it. Listen, there's a man written to me, and he's very alarmed because I've threatened to bomb Donaghadee.
Oh, Gerry, that's terrible.
From the air. It says, I'm alarmed and frightened. From behind the sofa, I can hear a plane overhead, and he does an impersonation of a plane in the email, which is not easy. Will I do it for you?
Yeah, you do it, Gerry.
Put. A little plane, but a plane nevertheless. Has it got bombs on board that will drop in my house in Donaghadee? Go picking somewhere else. All the hollymakers are here. Please play some Juliet Turner for everyone who's currently standing, waiting on a train in Belfast Central. So there's a man alarmed because I threatened to bomb Donaghadee from the air. I'm sorry about that. I did it from in a loose moment.
Yeah.
I like Donaghadee. I don't think that I don't like Donaghadee.
Things like that about Donaghadee. No.
I don't know. I just say things like that. My tongue runs away with me.
Gerry, it's all the sun that's going to your brain. It's because you haven't got very much hair on top.
There was no need for that.
Oh, well, it's low, isn't it?
It
was a really nasty thing to say, wasn't it?
Absolutely no need for that.
Absolutely
whatsoever.
no need.
It
You can't help it if you're a good-looking tree.
I can't help it. It just came out of the blue, that. It's just the evil.
Okay, Gerry, thanks.
The evil that resides within you. All right, keep watching the newspapers on my behalf.
Oh, well, I enjoy your column on a Friday evening, but I thought that was hilarious. I really laughed at that. I thought that really took the biscuit.
That's good. Thanks very much.
Okay, Gerry.
Okay, bye. Speaking of columns, there's a thing in the paper today, and this is quite a serious thing, but, when you think about it, you can't take anything too serious. There's a report in one of the newspapers today about people throwing things from Clune Street into Clantyboy Road, and they said people were throwing bottles and old records. I sincerely hope that Hugo has been spared that. Imagine you sitting at home and somebody throwing a Hugo Duncan record at you. If it hit you, you might never talk again.
What you got sounds so sweet. You gotta make it
Give me all your lovin'. That's from a band called the Leningrad Cowboys, ably accompanied by the Red Army Choir. Right, there's someone on the line here, I think. Let me just check if I got this right here. Right, so one thing after another. Hello?
Hi, Gerry.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Who are you?
My name is Louise McLaughlin.
What's your first name again?
Louise.
Louise, yes, Louise. What can we do for you today?
Well, I'm taking a year out and I'm going to Chile in October.
Oh, good girl.
And I actually have to fundraise £3,500, which I've fundraised about half of it. But I'm looking for car boot sales around the Belfast area just.
Car boot sales? Well, how can you make money out of car boot sales put on by somebody else?
Well, I would sell them. I've got a lot of stuff to sell.
Oh, you want stuff to sell in the car boot sales?
Yeah, I'm looking to sell because my mum and all my mum's friends have collected loads of items for me to sell, but I've nowhere to sell them, so I'm just looking about.
Whereabouts?
I haven't found any. I've gone and looked in every paper, but I just can't seem to find anywhere to sell stuff.
Oh, don't worry about that. We'll get you all the car boot sales you can handle. When are you going to Chile?
The 1st of October for 10 weeks. So I'm quite excited about it, but...
do you know any particular place you're going to visit? Or
I'm not actually sure where the base is, but it's just, we're going to, on 3 different sections. You've got an expedition section and voluntary, helping section within the community, and a scientific section, so you do it for 3 to 4 weeks.
Well, who are you going with? Anybody in particular? Any organisation in particular?
It's the Rally Project.
Oh, brilliant. I'm going there too, next October.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Really? Whereabouts are you going?
I'm going to Machu Picchu.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, I'm going with the Foyle Hospice. But I have to raise 3,500 quid as well.
Yes.
So maybe when you are at your car boot sale, maybe you could take some of my stuff too.
That would be great.
What kind of stuff? You got old Christmas presents?
A lot. Yeah.
All your old toys? All your old toys? What age are you? You're obviously quite young. What are you, 21, 22?
No, I'm 18.
18, sorry. It's far too old. So you've got all the stuff that you've been collecting all your whole life?
Well, just the last couple of weeks.
All right, so where are you? Where are you based?
Me or the project?
No, you.
I'm based in Belfast.
Okay, right. So what you need is some notification of some car boot sales around the Belfast area.
Yes.
But you could go in and sell some of your stuff.
Yes.
And there's no reason why they wouldn't welcome you. No reason at all. So, okay, anyone out there who's having a car boot sale when do you have to raise? Of course, you've all year to raise it, haven't you?
Well, no, I'm actually going in October.
Oh, this October?
6 weeks.
Oh, this October?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you meant next October. Sorry about that.
No, it's October.
Oh dear, I'm not going until next October. Not this year, but next year. Sure, you'll miss me.
Oh.
But the only thing I'm worried about, by the time next October comes, I might be too old.
No
I
way.
might look like John Bennett. And then they won't let me into the country in case I die. All right then, so let's find out if there's any car boot sales in the Belfast area that would be willing to let you come along and throw some of your stuff in. And there's no reason at all why they shouldn't. And any kind of calls we get, we'll pass them on to you.
That's great. Thank you very much.
All right then. So you're looking forward to that?
I can't wait. I'm really excited.
Well, is this a kind of a gap year? Have you done your A levels and that kind of thing?
I just did them, and then now I'm just taking a gap year now.
And did you just get your results the other day?
I did. I got into Glasgow University.
Oh,
for law and French.
So that's you organised.
Yeah, for next year. So I'm really, really looking forward to it.
Oh, brilliant! Well, enjoy your break.
Thank you very much.
Okay, love.
Thank you.
Bye. 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 Young people are so refreshing. When I was that age, I was drinking wine and hanging around the corner, smoking fags, and trying to sneak away in a boat to Bolton or somewhere. Of course, boats don't go to Bolton, I know. And a lady reminds me that Allende was indeed not supported by the Americans. Thank you very much for that. I knew that as soon as it came out of my mouth, but that's the way it goes. Or maybe indeed he was. Whatever it was, sure, who cares anyway? No, people do care. I'll just find the email to make sure this is... Can't find it. Oh, you have it inside. Oh, well, that's all right then. That's a song called She Hits Me from the four of us from an album called Off the Record. And before that was a very unusual piece of music, was Bella Fleck. It's a man, his name is Bella, Bela, B-E, I forget what you call the thing, circumflex, whatever it is, B-E-L-A. Fleck is an American banjo player. And after hearing that, I'm sure Kathy McGarr gets stretched out on the kitchen floor. That's a song called, well, it's not a song called anything really. It's Bach's Prelude from Partita No. 3 for solo violin. So there's a fine player. That's from an album called Perpetual Motion, from the piece called Perpetual Moto. Moto Perpetuo by Paganini, which is also on that as well. Right, and a lady called Kathleen Quinn reminds me, Allende was not supported by the Americans. I knew that as soon as I opened my mouth, as I said before. Because of his left-wing policies and ignoring the fact that he had been democratically elected, the CIA plotted to overthrow him and put the dictator Pinochet in his place, whom Margaret Thatcher supported with every fibre of her being, which is why we are in the mess we're in today nearly all over the world. Car boot sales going on all around the place. There's one every Saturday in St Donald's car park on the Bloomfield Road. We'll send the lady who's trying to raise money to go to Chile, we'll send her that. There's another one every Saturday in Safeway's car park on the Show Road. Starts at 10 o'clock. And there's one opposite the chapel in the playing fields in Dundrum every Sunday, for God's sake. And there's one on the old airport road every Sunday at Linfield Football Club in the car park. Look at that. Wee Billy says that. I'd love to say hello to Wendy in Enniskillen, who, as usual, is the oldest swinger in town. And happy birthday to Michaela McVeigh, who's 17 today. That's from all her sisters. Sorry, from all her cousins. That's from Elaine McVeigh. And Terry Walsh wants to know where he could buy a decent walking stick, preferably one of the Blackthorn variety. Well, you've got me there, but maybe someone out there would be able to tell you where you could get that without breaking the bank. There's someone on the line here. Let me just try and get them on. Hello?
Hello, Gerry.
Yes, who's that?
Gerry, this is your wee piece of toast woman and your wee woman who told you my problems about my friend's breasts and all.
Oh, yes, piece of toast
I have
woman.
another problem.
Yes.
Well, Gerry, I was passing this charity shop the other day,
Yeah.
and I seen this big cuddly toy in the window, and it just needed, it was just saying, take me home and mind me.
With it, the talking cuddly toy.
Sorry?
It talked.
No, it was just looking at me, and its eyes was following me.
Yes, so you imagined it saying, take me home and cuddle me.
Yes.
I do that every Saturday night in a pub. I look at girls and I imagine them saying that to me, but it never works.
Well, I took him home and I called him Gerry.
You called a little cuddly toy Gerry?
After you.
Did you really? I'm
It
quite...
was a big cuddly toy.
Well,
So
good.
when I bought it, my husband said, what do you want that thing for? And I said,
Typical
well,
hairy brute, yeah.
oh, he is.
Hairy brute.
Well, so you're in touch with your feminine side, Gerry?
Very much so. I don't like men. I don't like men. I can't talk to men.
No, I don't blame you.
Do you know my idea of a nightmare?
What?
My idea of a nightmare, and I'm serious about this, my idea of a nightmare is standing in a pub with 6 men talking about football.
Yes.
I just want to scream and get out of there. And I could sit and talk to any number of women about anything.
Well, funny, I always sort of could talk to men, but listen, would I tell you my problem?
Yeah.
Because you're in touch with your feminine
I
side.
am indeed,
can
yes.
talk to you.
Yeah.
So anyway, my husband, what do you want that thing for? And I said, well, Thomas, our youngest wee grandson, he might play with it when he's here.
Yes.
But, I mean, I was calling him Gerry, and I wasn't giving him up to anybody.
Did your husband know why you were calling this piece of fluff Gerry?
Well, my husband said that you're an Egypt and I'm a bigger Egypt.
He sounds like a typical man.
Oh, terrible. But will you hear this?
Men tend not to like me.
That's because they're jealous.
No, because I don't play golf or I don't care about anything that they care about.
Uh-huh. Well, will I tell you, and I have to tell you this, Jane.
Yeah.
So anyway, I could hear my daughter coming with Thomas, and I lifted you and ran up with you to my boudoir. And I hid you under my duvet.
Really? When did you bring me out again?
Well...
When everybody had gone?
Yes, and I had you here, sitting in the living room with me, and the plumber, the one who was looking at my pipes.
Oh, I know, I saw him. Yeah, I didn't like the sound of him, yeah.
Well, he started laughing, and you know what he said?
What?
Elmo. He was calling you Elmo.
Elmo.
Out of what do you call that, Miss Peggy and all used to be on Sesame Street.
I know what he's at. And I don't like that plumber at all. Once he started looking at your pipes, I said to myself, he's no good.
And I was raging because I didn't know what you call this toy. I just knew it needed TLC.
I know. I know the type of plumber he is because I know men like him. They laugh and sneer at anything that we do. For instance, I mean, the type. I have a little dog, it's not a mastiff.
Yes.
It's not a bulldog.
A mature dog.
It's a small little dog, a little toy dog, and I love it dearly.
Yeah.
And every time I go out with it, there's always men walking along with big Alsatians and big Yorkshires.
So they need those to feel they're a man. You don't.
And do you know what they always do? They look at my wee dog and they go, "Ha! Is that a rat?"
They're
And I always
jealous.
turn around and say, "No, it's not a rat, actually." And I just walk on.
They're jealous.
They are jealous, yeah, and they laugh because they feel as if they should have a big dog.
Well, Gerry, you live in my bedroom.
Well,
And I think I told you, remember, about me being bullied and I'm suffering from a severe reactive
that's
depression.
right. Yes, you told me about that.
And
yes.
you have cheered me up.
Well, that's good.
Because I just lift you up and cuddle you, and you've got your two eyes are sort of nearly meeting together in this.
Yeah, I'm like that on a Saturday night.
Well,
but the only thing you must watch if you ever hear me climbing up the drain pipe, keep your window closed.
Gerry, I cuddle you every night, and my husband won't let you sleep in the middle.
I'm not surprised. He may not be used to two men in the bed.
No.
A lot of them don't like that.
But you sleep at my side.
Still, they could talk about football, couldn't they? In moments when there's nothing
No,
happening.
my husband be more into the bookies.
Well, we could talk about horses.
Yes.
If you go to sleep there, we could
He thinks you should be like an old horse, kept at home.
I could lie in bed and talk about form,
Yes.
Talk about heavy going, stuff like that. Anyway, well, I'm getting quite excited here, so maybe perhaps I should leave. Thank you very much for sharing that with me, and long may you cuddle your toy in the privacy of your own home.
He brightens my day.
Okay, right, and long may he not get stuffed.
And brighten my long nights when my husband's on a night shift.
Well,
when I get depressed, I just look at those eyes that need looking after, and I see you.
Mm-hmm.
And you never sent me your picture yet.
No, well, I'll have to get around to that. The
You
staff.
probably sent it to Geordie by mistake,
No,
and you
Geordie's-
thought it would be all hugs and kisses, and you
Geordie's-
probably sent it to Geordie.
Geordie's too busy being savaged by foxes to worry about photographs of me. No, I'll send you a photograph. The BBC staff isn't what it was.
I would just love a photo of you on my wall, Gerry.
All right then,
With
okay.
lots of hugs and kisses on
All
it.
right then, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye. It could get out of control, Many requests for this.
Now you have exchanged solemn vows before God and made a sacred promise to one another to love, honour and cherish and to share the years ahead. You have been joined together, but you are still individuals. Stay very close, but allow each other room to breathe. You have made a commitment for the long road. Now you must learn to be good travelling companions. Walk with dignity and walk with God. stand shoulder to shoulder and take strength from your togetherness. Walk hand in hand and take pride in your closeness. Be open and be honest, but respect each other's privacy. Be caring and attentive, but respect each other's space. Never forget that you belong together as part of God's natural law, just as the waves belong on the ocean and the stars belong in the sky. And as you grow together, let not your love be suffocating, but inspiring, recognizing that each of you has your own special gifts and talents. And remember, the sweetest music two voices can make is not when they sing the same melody, but rather when two different refrains come together in close and perfect harmony.
As I say, many requests for that. That's Roma Downey. That's from an album called Healing Angel by Roma Downey and Phil Coulter. And that's, of course, Brian Kennedy singing as well. And that's a track called In Perfect Harmony. There's lots of tracks, many similar tracks like that. They're all tuggy tracks. It's all good. It's good stuff, this. You know, it's a bit schmaltzy maybe, but, you know, I don't mind that. A lot of people wouldn't like that, but I think it's nice. It's sincere. A couple of gigs to remind you about, which you may not know of, or maybe, well, you would know some. Right, Slipknot, a very fine band for the benefit of people who are listening here who would be interested in that. Slipknot are appearing in the Odyssey Arena on Tuesday the 27th of August, coming up next Tuesday. Slipknot, so they're a fine band, actually. If you're interested in that sort of thing, go along. And here's another thing which you may be interested in if you're going to go to Donegal at the weekend. Oh no, it's not at the weekend, it's tomorrow night, actually. Tomorrow? 21? Yes, it is tomorrow night. The West Ocean String Quartet with special guest guitarist Colin Reid are appearing at a beautiful place. I can't even pronounce it. It's in Dunlewy. That's the Poison Glen up in County Donegal. There's a centre there down beside the lakes. And it's just absolutely beautiful if you've never been there. If you're ever up there, go there. It's just, ask anybody where the centre is. It's Enid Cush Locha. I don't know what it's called. But the Western Ocean String Quartet are performing there tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. So if you're up there maybe on your holidays, somewhere around that area, and you want to see something special and go to a very special place and hear a very special piece of music, a special band, I don't suppose you could call them a band, go along and hear them and Colin Reid, and you'll enjoy yourself. And also, no, there's someone on the line here. Hello?
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, Gerry.
I believe you have a certain complaint of a certain nature.
Yes, I have. I've been on to you a couple of times, and I've been waiting for the opportune moment. It was just when you were talking about taxis, I says, I'm going to phone in now.
Yes.
What actually happened? 3 weeks ago on Monday there, I'd went over to Port Rush on Saturday previous, and my wife was coming over with the grandson on the Monday.
Uh-huh.
So she gets off, the boat was very early, gets off the boat about 2:10. The train to Coleraine was 2:55. She gets first off the boat because she was with somebody for CCAT as well.
Mm-hmm.
First taxi, sat there for ages.
What, is this 2 o'clock in the day?
Yes, aye. First taxi, she's in the first taxi, sat there for ages. We've got to wait till it fills up, so she's sitting, then they says, right out, she had to lift all her luggage out, put it in another taxi, wait till they get people in it. Helen asked them where they were going.
Why did she get out of the first taxi?
Because she was told to get out of it.
She was told to get out of it?
Aye.
By who?
The driver.
Why did he say you have to get out of it?
I don't know, because she obviously had another fare, there was other people getting to her.
Right, so he said get out, so she got in to the taxi.
She got into that taxi, then she had to get her stuff out it.
But how long did she sit there before he told her to get out?
How long did you sit for? She reckons about 10 minutes, and then she was moved to another taxi. she waited till that was filled up, and it was 3 guys that were going to the Woodvale area of Belfast.
Right.
And by the time she got up to the railway station, she'd missed the train by 5 minutes.
Right.
She had to wait another 2 hours plus 2.5 hours, I think it was, for the next connection to Coleraine.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was ridiculous.
So in other words, she arrived there, right? And how far? Along did she? What time elapsed from when she got off the boat until she was to get her train? What time of it had elapsed?
Oh, she'd 35 minutes.
35 minutes. And
when she actually got into the first taxi.
And it's only, she could have walked it in 10 if she had no luggage.
Yeah, she had luggage, and she had a 9-year-old grandson with her.
Well, I'm not saying she should have walked it, but I'm saying she could have walked it in 10 minutes. And she missed it because... Well, these are the type of taxis I'm used to.
Yeah.
Apparently in Ballymena, Kathy McGarvey talked earlier that they always come at the same time. They always come in time, and they're always dependable. Well, that sounds like my type of taxis that you have there.
Right.
That's disgraceful. Yeah.
I mean, it's welcome to Northern Ireland, you know.
I know. Yeah. Can you imagine tourists from Australia getting in that taxi?
Aye.
You have to wait till it's full up there.
The wife knows the score, so she wasn't like frightened or anything like that, you know, because we've been over a few times.
Yes, the old concept. It's an alien concept. You don't get that too many places in the world these days. The only place you would get that would be if you arrived at somewhere like New York or somewhere like that, and you don't want to take a taxi, and you see a van or something. Sometimes they do those kind of pirate vans, but they're not safe either. And you get in, and the guy has to wait until they fill them up. But you know that, and you know it's only cost you a few dollars. But that doesn't actually... But ordinary taxis don't do that. When you get into a taxi, you hire the taxi. But here, when you get into a taxi, you have to wait until everybody else comes in. That's good. Well, we mean well. We mean well. All right. Okay. Well, thanks for telling us.
Thank someone, Gerry, for the week we were over. I actually ended up in the Causeway Hospital, and I'd like to thank someone.
Go ahead.
I got stung by a weaver fish when I was out fishing from Port Rush.
What's a weaver fish?
It's a poisonous thing.
What does it do to you?
It makes you very unwell. It can be fatal. It can cause temporary paralysis and stuff like that. But what it done to me, it was basically just sweating.
Well, how did it get into the taxi?
No, this isn't a boat, Gerry.
Right, okay. Right.
And what happened was the skipper of the boat was absolutely fantastic. He was a guy called... God, I nearly forgot his name there, Richard Connor from the Harbour Tackle Shop in Port Rush. I mean, he got me ashore and got me to the Causeway Hospital, waited till I was treated and everything. He was absolutely brilliant. I couldn't thank him enough.
Yes. Well, that's good then. Okay, well, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Right, thank you.
Bye. I stopped talking very suddenly there. I thought we were cut off. Sometimes people stop talking very suddenly and I get confused. There's a man called Brian who he seems to be put upon. He said, "It is my theory that the school curriculum in West Africa includes swindling. Either that or I have mug written all over me. The attached file is a compilation of the begging letters which I have received in the past 4 weeks. Previous letters having been long deleted. If you can be bothered to open the file, you will notice that some students are clearly copying each other's work. Imagine some dishonesty. Anyway, when I receive a new letter from some poor desperate person in Africa with several $100 million US to move into my bank account, I tell them my account is already bulging with the proceeds of previous West Coast dealings. I don't feel I could take any more of their money. And then I add their letter to the end of the attached file and send it back. Now, he sent me a file, and I swear, it's as thick as a man's arm. And these are all letters from various people in Africa looking for money. It's just, I'm sure that many people are familiar with these, but it really is getting out of control. It really is. I'll just pick one at random. From Mohammed Abaka. Attention to you, it says. This is sent to Brian. My name is Barrister Jackson Chukwumagunga. I am a private attorney and I have a client who's interested in investing some good money in your company. My client is a very important and prominent person who's mandated me to contact you or your company for a very important business transaction. My client is by name Mrs. Mariam Mabaka, and she is the wife of a late military head of state in my country. Her husband, late General Sani Abaka, made a lot of money through oil proceeds during his tenure in office. In fact, it was discovered that after his death, he was worth well over 4.5 billion US States dollars, which is a lot of dollars. And some of this money was retrieved after he died, while some was recovered from officials that served under him during his reign as president of Nigeria. The truth of this case is that my client, despite the problems she's going through now, she still has a lot of money in her possession, which she intends to invest outside our country. What my client needs from you now is a reliable account where she can transfer some money, but mind you, all the money in her possession cannot leave at once because she would need to build confidence and trust in someone who would not expose her plan to remit and possibly invest in your company. So she has agreed that I should make arrangement for the transfer of only $50 million, and you are free to negotiate your mode of compensation even if she intends to invest the money in your country. Please do not hesitate to indicate your view of this request by contacting me immediately. You receive this email so that the necessary arrangements can be made for the money to leave immediately. Due to the present situation of my client, I would be happy if this request can be kept a secret. I'd also like to note that there's no risk involved at all. I hope my client will be happy investing with you. Please kindly send down your reply through my personal email address. And if you do that, you are off your head. Oh, that's the wrong one, sorry. I've been asked to play this as well. I played this the other day. I used to play this all the time, but I kind of stopped, so people hadn't heard it before. This is a song by Mark Cimino called Caught in the Act of Being Ourselves. Some people hadn't heard it before and they wanted to hear it again. It's a beautiful song. Listen to the words.
He was mostly confused, he was mostly confined to the water upstream and the watered down wine. He was finding it soft to be drowned in a flood, and he was finding it hard to be misunderstood, and he wanted so much to be misunderstood. So he stood on his ear till he bled from his mouth, from talking too much and from talking too loud. He could tell you exactly just how to survive, but he valued nobody who felt half alive. But I saw him one night on the half side of town where the windmills don't run 'cause the wind blew him down. He was searching for truth 'cause there was nothing else left. He was caught in the act of being himself. She was mostly a wife, she was mostly a cook. Her head was just one big recipe book. She'd promised herself she'd be right all along, and she could not accept it when she did something wrong. There are knots in her heart and a ring on her hand. She was stretching them both like a tight rubber band. There's moss in her eyes that would not let her see she could trade in her poise for her identity. But I saw her one night on the half side of town where windmills don't run 'cause the wind blew them down. She was searching around for some cheap commonwealth. She was caught in the act of being herself. Now it's a beautiful world, but it'll run you around, said the boy to the girl who was chasing her down. You can stand in the rain till your body turns blue, or you can let that warm sun run a number on you. Ah, your voice is so calm, said the girl to the boy, but your words are like bullets out to search and destroy. I love you, she said, that's not too much to ask. He said, I'll do the same, as he put on his mask. But I saw one night on the half side of town where you can't tell it rained for the dew on the ground. They'd found their hearts to unbroken bells, each caught in the act of being themselves. So there I stood in a parking garage on December the 12th, feeling strong but empty. The wind was cutting through like a needle barrage, leaving nothing to warm me and nothing to tempt me.
There's pain in my eyes, but a smile on my face. My heart full of cigarette, my hand full of mace. I was destined to lock my keys in my car for fear of driving my conscience too far. But I saw me one night on the F side of town, where the windmills don't run 'cause the wind blew them down. My conscience was gone, but my anger was still left. I was caught in the act of being myself. I was caught in the act of being myself. I was caught in the act of being myself.
That's Mark Jimeno. That's a rare album called Caught in the Act of Being Ourselves. That's the title of the album. That's also coincidentally the title of the song. Right, Maura Largy rings and she wants to know, can someone service a B5CR Yamaha organ? Well, I see no reason why not. There's no reason why they can discriminate. Please play something for Lillian. Sorry, I can't speak today. I usually can't speak at the start of the programme. Now I find I can't speak at the end. Play something for Lillian Parks with love from her husband David. And Elaine Corr kindly rings in to say that there's a shop in the Victoria Centre opposite Pound Stretcher in Belfast that sells excellent walking sticks. And also try, Dorothy Walker says you can try Archie McFetridge's hardware shop in Ballymena for an excellent walking stick. And Charlie Jones says the best excellent Blackthorn walking sticks can be found in Ironside Trophies, Harmony Hills Shopping Centre and Lambeg. So what more can a white man want? But information like that of a most succinct nature. Someone was ringing about the West Ocean String Quartet, wants to know where the place is that I mentioned. Well, it's in Dunlewey, in County Donegal, Dunlewey. It's in the shadow of Mount Errigal. It's also called the Poisoned Glen. If you've never been there, it really is worth making your way up there and having a look at it, especially at this time of year. And it's eerie, because one of the reasons they call it the Poison Glen, and nobody really knows why, but sometimes when you're there, there's not a sound, not a single sound. Sometimes you don't even hear birds. And people say it was called the Poison Glen because all life was kind of extinguished from it for some reason, some old pagan Gaelic curse or something like that. But it is extraordinarily quiet. And you can go on a boat up the lake from the centre there. I can't pronounce the centre. It's IONAADCOISLOCHA in Coshaloka, whatever it is. And you get a boat there and you're going up the water and you hear nothing except the water. It's just unbelievable. But you can hear the West Ocean String Quartet with a good friend of mine, actually, Neil Martin on cello. They're brilliant. Also Colin Reid, fine guitar player there tomorrow night. Go there, make a day of it tomorrow. Go there, have your lunch, get out in the boat, go to the gig at night, a few pints of stout, book into bed and breakfast, every man for himself. Bob's your uncle, and there you go. This will be our last song today. This is Paul Casey. This is a song called Thanks for Letting Me Crash. I don't think we'll have time to play all of it, but most of it.
Thanks for letting me crash. My head was spinning so fast. Got people staring at me, but they don't see what I see. Got silver walls around me, got bubbles on my windscreen, but thanks for letting me crash. There's nothing coming at me. It's like living in the movies. My eyes are coming down on me. I'm so blind that I see silver walls around me. I got bubbles on my windscreen, but thanks for letting me crash. Yeah. We step outside into the night sky. The stars, they hypnotize. scratches on my windscreen, but thanks for letting me crash.
Maybe not the best song to play coming up to September the 11th, but then again, there we go. That's Paul Casey. Thanks for letting me crash. We'll be back tomorrow at the same time. I'll be back tomorrow at the same time. If you want to write me a letter or indeed communicate in any way, you can write to me, care of BBC Radio Foyle. That's Derry Stoke Londonderry. That's 8 Northland Road, Derry Stoke Londonderry. We'll be back at 10:30 tomorrow morning, or you can send me an email at gerry.anderson@bbc.co.uk. 12 o'clock.